the IT guy.
Professional, yeah, there's a contradiction in terms. All right, here we go. There's the recording going,
I
and
don't need the record.
well, how else do we remember all those good times?
Oh yeah, you guys. Yeah, I'll remember. I mean,
That's
yeah,
all right.
we're old, Robert. Remember, we're old.
Yeah, I have enough trouble remembering what I had for lunch.
Some of us are old. Not Johnny, not Duncan,
No,
not Carrie.
no. Some of us are young farts. All right. You guys seeing this? You guys seeing the banner there?
Yep.
All righty. Okay, everyone. Welcome. Happy holidays. Happy ho ho. All that good stuff. Normally we'd all be munching on pizza, etc. But the good thing is you can have booze because you're all at home. So feel free. As some of you are already doing, smoke them if you got them. They're not going to give you a hassle, but I do suggest you try and quit. And that's my one and only mag for the year on smoking, Mr. Tucker. No worries. Okay, so welcome to everyone. Let's see, we have a new face. Paul, how are you tonight?
Not too bad, actually.
So you were saying before everyone else joined, you do wooden ships and some stuff like that, eh?
Yeah, plastic, wood.
Awesome. Well, like I
awesome.
say, welcome to our group. If you have any questions,
Thank
please
you.
feel free to speak up, and we're going to go from there. Are you based in the London area?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, hopefully, if we can get back to in-person meetings, we're probably going to be meeting at Fanshawe. We'll hopefully see you in person as well. So there we go. Okay. Usual Zoom etiquette. If you're going to be banging away or hacking and coughing like myself, put yourself on mute. Like that. Club business and news, not much else. I did speak to Francis again. He's an instructor at Fanshawe. The college is still waiting, especially with Omicron, to confirm any specific dates and anything. So for now, unless you hear otherwise, the January meeting will be a Zoom meeting. The January meeting is also when your 1-year build should be done. So send me photos, and then we do a random draw for the thing, and we'll also do a list of next year's 1-year builds. So start thinking about all those highly complex projects that you're going to get done. I know Johnny's already in that, or already said he's going to do his Spitfire. That nice. I think it was 48th, right, Johnny, or was it the 32nd? 48th. Okay. So there we go. Not much other club business other than that. Jeff, was there anything that I missed or you have?
No, I don't think so. The biggest issue, of course, is Fanshawe status, and with Omicron the way it's going, I don't think we can expect any positive news on that anytime soon. No,
and I know, like, for example, our library board, we are scheduled meetings for next year, and we're not scheduling an in-person meeting until April. So, but hopefully we'll be able to meet prior to that. So as usual, just stay safe, everyone. I did check with Carrie. There's nothing from IPMS Canada this month, other than I assume the best of the season. I'll just make sure. Carrie?
That's true. I mean, nothing has really changed since my last report in the Beaver Tails. We're just moving forward. I guess the only thing would be to make mention is we'll be reviewing model contest rules in the upcoming year, since that was a topic of discussion post US Nationals. So I don't see anything major happening, but one never knows. And of course, there'll be input from the chapters. So.
Awesome. Nope, looking forward to that. It's always good. And like I say, we appreciate all the work you and the other executives do for the national organization. It's a thankless task, and yes, despite the rumors, they don't fly them down first class to nationals,
or at all.
I know. I was going to leave it a little bit hanging there for a second.
Economy's not that bad.
Yeah, they don't even put them in steerage. So there we go. All right, so let's move on to the tables. Quite a few entries. Thank you, everyone. quite a lot of photos. I just want to move one screen here because I like to see how many photos are in the slides. So just so I can get an idea. So we're going to start with Mike. I tried to put them in some semblance of order, Mike, so forgive me if they're not perfect. And,
Order.
well, you know,
2 pictures.
yeah,
How many pictures did I send you?
you sent me about 9 or 10. I thought some were similar to last month, but that's fine. If they are, I'll just skip right past them.
Allow me to blame that on the fat finger. Yeah, you can skip that guy.
Yeah, I think that one we saw.
Skip that guy.
Yeah, same with that. That was the landing, but you know what? That's worth a revisit because you got the nice photo edge.
Yeah,
in
nice
there.
photo.
Yeah.
There's the pontoon hanging in midair. Spontoon, sorry.
This is how you fix the alignment, I believe.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure and I just didn't get time to double check. Here we go.
And there's the fuselage together. And I think at that stage, my goal was to get it to look like the picture in the background there.
Mhm.
And I made a stretcher and chairs, seats to go inside, even though most of the time it was used to just ferry people around.
Yeah, that's what you sent me. So, but you know what? That's the one there. I think that's the money shot.
But
And
you're a
you're-
lot further along than
Yeah.
that, Mike.
Yeah, he's a lot further along now. He's got it painted.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I honestly sent you the wrong pictures.
Well, that's
Can
all
I-
right. Do you have it there? Do you have it in front of you? You can show us. Or do you want to share? Do you want to share your screen? If you want, share your screen. I think I set it up already.
Korsky SN61.
Because if not, I'll find some of your Facebook posts and do that.
Oops, I clicked on the wrong one.
That's
Share.
all right.
Share. There we
There
are.
you go. There you go. Yep.
There she is in the early of the painting stage.
Yep.
Now, how do I move on to the next one?
You just try the
Hey.
left and right arrow key, depending on what
Yeah,
program
basi-
you're in.
No.
No.
Roll your mouse as far to the right as you can in the middle, and an arrow might pop up.
Yeah, I don't think it's there. No, you'll just have to close it and open the next
I
one.
got it.
You got it? There you go.
Oh,
There
wow.
she is, with some decals on it. Side profile with some decals that went on nicely. You will notice that the first A in Canadian is not correct.
Wow, you know, there you go. That's it.
There's
I
no
never
hole
even
in your A.
noticed it in all the pictures you posted until you just pointed it out.
Yeah.
Well, somebody else with sharp eyes pointed it out to me this afternoon. I gave it some thought for about 2 seconds of cutting it. I went, nah, that's too damn small for my. There's the nose prior to being finished. Oh, there's my reference pictures.
Yeah. Considering what you started with, that's come out real well.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, send me the updated ones and I'll add them to the PowerPoint. Okay. So just go up to the top. You can stop your share. There you go.
There.
All right. I'll resume sharing
Oh,
mine.
it will show up, but there she is.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
Oh, it's really coming along.
Ah,
It's a stealth chopper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to the meeting started, I fit the 2 rear view antennas, mirrors, sorry, White has rear view mirrors on it, I don't know. The cable antennas fit. The main and tail rotors are fit. 2 of the, I don't know if they're actually landing lights or taxi lights under the nose, so she is finished.
Looks good. And you have the ability to take something that's very rough and just make it look really good. Well done, sir. Johnny,
Time.
yeah. Johnny's magnum opus, shall we say. Otherwise titled
you
his
fit-
1-year build.
Stuart, can you fill the screen with that?
Is it not full? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, put it in presentation mode.
Oh, I thought I was. Hang on. Let me stop the share. There we go.
You can shift it fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Hang on. Let me try again.
And we're doing that. I wanted to ask Johnny what color he used for the brass on the shells.
No, it's metal shell.
Oh, wow. That's why it
It's
looks so
aftermarket.
realistic.
I painted the tips, but not the not the rest of the shell.
Ah,
Yeah. Otherwise, it would be a lot of masking.
yeah.
Way too many.
Looks
shells.
very realistic. Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
amazingly
so
clean. Do you plan on weathering this today, Johnny, or is this going to be like a factory fresh thing?
I think I will give a very slight weathering just to make the details pop out a little bit. Like
Right,
do
right.
some panel wash or things like that. But I don't want to make it dirty or old. I want to make it fairly new, but just slightly weathered vehicle. Because the one I built this year, the King Tiger, it was way too clean and it just doesn't look very interesting.
Yeah.
So this one, even though I haven't do any weathering for it, I still think it's already better than the King Tiger because I try to give like when I paint the model, I try to give every part some highlights using a lighter color, so it doesn't look too plain, too boring.
No, it looks great.
I didn't do very. I didn't make a very big contrast, just a little, but I think it's enough.
Looks
That's
great.
1/35th scale?
1/35th, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'd go insane.
Not a long trip for you, but I mean,
No, but still, that's what, yeah, even then. All righty, Mr. Tucker. Whole bunch here and kind of again, I tried to put them in some semblance of order. Just give me a second.
Right.
here. And,
Well, a little bit of progress on the church. I made the door for it, which is just a wooden stir sticks cut down into planks and 3D printed some hinges for it. Use some styrene sheet and strip for the framing around the door and started in on a set of steps for it.
Like the brickwork is very well painted.
Sidetracked me, which is these are two spires for the front of a castle, and I got interested in doing this, and I joined up with this other Facebook group called Foam Modeling Workshop. And anyway, seeing some of the things on there, plus a friend of mine sent me a picture of a castle that had these really tall spires hanging off the side of the front main part of the castle, the castle gate. So anyway, I started building this thing out of foam core board for the structural part, and then a whole bunch of bricks cut on my hot wire foam cutter.
just a few.
Yeah. And something really cool happened this morning because of joining this group. One of the members of the group sent me a message on Facebook asking me if I would be willing to write an article with pictures for him to put on his Patreon site.
Awesome.
And he's going to pay me for doing it.
There you
So
go.
that's kind of cool.
good for you.
Very good. There's some detail of the spire with a window.
Yeah, and that's, of course, 3D printed windows.
Mhm. Did you figure out the movie? Was it Where Eagles Dare?
I went and looked at some of the trailers for the movie. I mean, they're not that easy to find,
No.
older movies, but I'm going to look around a bit more, see if I can find them, or at least some more trailers or something where I might, if I can spot that castle, like
I'm pretty
because
sure.
I have it in my mind, like what I
Yeah.
had saw. And it might not be a movie, it might be a documentary that had some, where they do the dramatized reenactment,
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
some battle that involved a castle.
Yeah.
So
Well, it might be a German, yeah, it could be that. I was thinking the Dirty Dozen, but that was more of a chalet. But yeah, that might be one. Anyway, yeah, it looks good. And that's a lot of bricks, I'm just saying.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But that hot wire cutter, like, you know, you do this in stacks of, like, you know, cut the strips to width and height first, and then cross cut them. I made up a sliding cross cut jig to, you know, I can, like, at one time I can make probably with one cut a dozen bricks, you know, and then just
Yeah.
keep cutting, and then they all go into a plastic jar with some rocks and some nuts and bolts and screws and things like that, and you shake the devil out of it, and that rounds off the corners and indents the bricks to give them a
Oh,
little
okay. Yep.
detail.
Very cool. Good idea. I wouldn't have thought about that. And the other thing now is if you want finely diced ham for your omelet, you got the tools for it now.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
just don't put the bricks in the same in the kitchen at the same time as the diced ham. That could be awkward.
Luckily, I haven't burned myself too badly on the hot wire yet.
Well, yeah, that
The
too.
thing is, though, if you do like really run into it, it'll
Yeah.
self-cauterize the wound, so it's okay.
Well done, Ron. All right, Mr. Wilson, you are on deck, sir. Just have to wait for him to unmute himself, though.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There you go. There you go, sir.
This is, you may have seen these, I posted them on the club website, but I thought I'd show them anyways. This is an RS models, 1/72nd scale KI 27, based in China in 1941, I believe. And I didn't use the kit decals. I painted on all the markings except the Hieronymus. But the RS kits are a beautifully engraved little tiny delicate little things, but they don't go together very well. And there's a lot of photo etch detail for the tiny little cockpit, which it's almost a waste of time, but I did some of it anyways. But I found these markings in a book of special units of the Japanese Army. And I sort of like just the plain red and white markings. So it's a nice little kit. A lot of work to put it together, but a lot of detail, but you don't see a lot of it, but nice surface detail.
It's really nice.
Mm-hmm. And then this is the Tamiya Renault 206 or Peugeot 206 world rally car from 2002, around that area. And it's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. I had the whole chassis done, and I never got around to finishing it. So I thought I got to finish all these things on my shelf of doom. So just put it together. It's typical Tamiya quality. It just beautiful, goes together well. The decals are a bit stiff and stodgy, but oh well. Turns out nice anyways. I think I'll build some more Tamiya kits. I have a few more that I'll put together.
I love the disc brake detail in there.
Yeah, the wheels are amazing.
Mm.
Did you paint the Michelin lettering on the tires, or was that
No,
a decal?
they're kind of a wet transfer that they give you in the kit.
Wow, it looks great.
Yeah, they look really nice. I know the F1 cars have those too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
But all those tiny little decals on the wheels are
And
tough.
what are all the spiky things on top? Are they antennas?
They're antennas. I debated whether I should cut off the plastic and use little metal wire in it, but I just wanted to get it done. So
What would they be used for on the real car? They're like communication?
well,
or
they have communication. I think they're all tracked by GPS. So
Oh, yeah.
some of them may have that.
One would be for the camera.
Yeah, there'd be cameras and there'd be all their electronic
Telemetry.
speed and coordinates for them that inside.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
Great finish.
Yeah, it looks
It's a
really
beautiful
good.
car. Yeah, it's a really
Yeah.
cool looking car.
Looks really nice.
I'm told at the end of a stage, these cars, like an army, people surround them and it looks this clean when they're done. Just all the photo opportunities.
Yeah.
They're driving through. They got to be spotless.
These guys are crazy. Like, you know, what they do there, just absolutely
Oh
amazing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing.
This is an older kit, I think, eh, Tim?
Yeah,
this one
it is.
here,
It's from 2002, I think.
yeah, so this is on my short list of Grail kits now, because this is not currently in production. I used
Yeah,
to,
'cause
I had one of
I
these
s-
years ago. Yeah. So
I
used
screwed
to-
up the decal on the roof and I had to improvise a new one on my own. And I tried calling Tamiya and Borgfeld in Toronto to see if I can get a replacement decal for it. And it's not even available, so.
Yeah, this will be something I'm hunting for at shows, I think. So if somebody sees one available, flag me down or something, because it's back on my short list of Grail kits.
Sure.
All right, Mr. White with something simply stunning here when I saw these pictures.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's still to be finished. I've got a door sitting actually right there that I have to on the right-hand side. But it's getting there. I gotta refix the tarp. It's a 1974 Peerless brand Bedford 6-pounder Porty. And it's actually, I bought the kit when I was 18. Started working on it, about half finished, 60% finished. And then I stopped building model kits. So I packed it all up and moved it from house to house. And now, I guess when I retired, got back into scale modeling, I thought, okay, well, I got this kit. I'll do a few others, and now I'll give it a shot. So yeah, 47 years later, I finally work on the kit and got it done. So
You must get an award for like the shelf queen, like forever.
yeah, I know, really.
Par for the
It,
course for this lot.
Yeah, so I got to work on that. As you see, I only see it when I took the photo. Actually, when I started to post process the photos, that the tarp isn't affixed properly. So I gotta go back and work on that. Get the door on there. A few other pieces that are I found are missing. What was surprising was I had all but I think 1 or 2 parts were still there when I went to start to work on it again.
Wow.
Anyhow,
So they didn't fire that gun from that vehicle though, like the Germans did with some of their stuff. That was just transport.
well, initially the idea was transport, but out of desperation, they did actually engage some German panzers in North Africa with that vehicle.
Oh wow.
With the 6-pounder mounted as it is right there.
Yeah, that's how they would get the gun off the truck. They just fire it.
Release
Yeah.
the winches, throw off a round, and away you go.
Yeah.
That looks
They give
really
you
good.
ramps and everything else like that. But yeah, the idea was they were supposed to transport it into action, but they did a desperation move. Yeah, they would go and fire it if necessary from
Yeah,
the
it's not like the little bison that the Germans came up with, where they took a Panzer I and put a square box on the top of it. They
Yes.
took the turret off and then mounted a Russian-made howitzer on the thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, desperation.
Yep,
Yeah, I did one of those a while back.
Yeah.
looks really good. Looks really, really good.
Oh,
That's
thanks.
neat.
Okay, Alf, you are on deck, sir.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people know that I have a similar story as Kevin. I put away the modeling in when I was 16. That was 41 years ago. So took up
Well,
modeling
Kevin is
again
still on
a
top
couple
for
of years ago.
reward.
And I'm building that kit. I know what that is. That's the Ford quad.
That is the quad, yeah. So this is a Tamiya quad gun. This is they call it the Brit. It's there's a British version, but I'm started doing the Canadian version. And this is the chassis that's well underway. So this was the one I posted where it's like, oh, I guess I could have painted it before I put the wheels and stuff on, but it's coming along. Actually, I'm pretty happy with it. This is only the second ever kit I've ever tried the weather. So it's I'm learning some things. This has been an interesting kit because it's to me I love the Tamiya kits just because there's so many parts to put together and they're a lot of fun. But on this one, nothing ever is aligned. There are injection marks everywhere. There's so much flashing. It's just an insane amount of work. I'm still one of those guys who doesn't spend an awful lot of time. Like I just built it out of the box, but starting to experiment. So
You've added a winch to
I
it.
added a winch and built that little tow cable and stuff. So anyway,
Looks
so
good. I
that's,
was thinking of doing that.
yeah, so that's these are just some of the chassis
The
details.
old flathead V8 Ford. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that, of course, if you know your World War II history, Canada produced an awful lot of trucks. Something like 800,000 CMPs, Canadian military patterns, as they call them, various trucks that they built for World War II, something like that. More than Germany, Italy, and Japan combined.
Wow.
And if you're familiar with the Battle of Dunkirk, the British actually grabbed a bunch of Canadian-made stuff because they had to leave a bunch of their trucks behind, and so they lost an awful lot of vehicles. So that was a big contribution from Canada. So this is a seat. I think this is I think there's probably a picture of sort of the before. So this is something I was trying with the Milliput, just try to give it a little more depth because the seat out of the kit is pretty plain.
Hopefully
And
I have this in the right order for you.
wouldn't look realistic.
Oh, wow.
There's the finished product. So I
Wow.
was trying to get more
And then I got
worn
one.
than dirty, but it's I'm actually pretty pleased with that.
Oh,
So
see,
there's it is out of the
I
box.
completely reversed that. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So that's what
So
it
that's
looks like out of
first.
the box. And the
Over
last
there.
picture, so that's the next stage after I worked it a little bit. And then this is just before I put it on the chassis on the.
How did you do the ripped fabric on the back of the seat there?
Well, just a little trial and error, but it's the one thing that I did was I kind of layered the Milliput like in very like almost like got it paintable sort of thing, like I made it really like a slurry, and then I just kind of brushed it on, and then I got it tacky about 10-15 minutes in, and kind of just picked at it with a little palette knife, like a
What did you
plastic
thin the
palette knife.
milliput with?
What's that?
What did you thin the milliput with?
Oh, you can just thin it with water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very malleable with water, and so if you kind of get it together, let it get beyond a little tacky, and then put water back on it, it will be very workable. And I kind of figured, well, that should then work even if it gets really thin. So that's sort of what I did. I just rolled it out very thin, then put it on the chair and kind of picked at it. So
Looks great.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it looks
yeah.
very cool.
Don't ask me to repeat it again, Ron, because it's total trial and error and an accident. So
One
Kinda
of those
looks like-
happy accident things that
Yeah.
Bob Ross used to talk about when he was painting.
See the
Speaking about
boxes.
talking about happy accidents, it looks like the driver had a happy accident on the seat there.
Well, maybe someone fired the gun above his head without telling him, right?
We'll just go with they spilled a large coffee. But
Good. All
the
right.
one thing
Oh,
that I
sorry.
will mention is the brown sort of wash on that chair. I actually used a game wash that they use for miniatures, and I like it because it's got this like really rich brown tony color to it. Looks like dirt when you apply it. So it's kind of a cool product if you're ever thinking about different washes. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's where we're at.
What brand of game wash is it?
Citadel?
Just hang on a sec.
Or Army Painter. That's what I use Army Painter and Citadel, both inks and washes. And as Alf says,
It's
they're
no, it's a Vallejo.
oh, it's the
It's
Vallejo?
a dipping, yeah.
Oh, they're dipping stuff. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're dipping
Wow,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that. That looks
Yeah,
great.
it's kind of cool stuff, right? And it's when it's small parts, I'll dip it right in and it really looks
Yeah.
cool. But with this, you can scoop it out and brush it on. It's good
So
stuff.
the war gamers, what they do is when they're basing their armies, like they might have 100 figures to do, so they'll put a base coat on and a little bit of detail, and then they'll dip each one, and that simulates all the dark crevices and that, but allows them to really paint an army up really quick. Both Vallejo and Army Painter also is another good brand. That's the one I tend to use, and you can get those at some of like the Game Chamber, and
Oh, yeah.
there's the store. I don't know if it carries. I know Game Chamber does. I don't know if the store downtown does it since they changed ownership. But yeah, they're very good. And they have different intensities and colors and stuff like that. So yeah, that looks good. All right.
Water-based? Yes,
Yes, if I recall.
cool, yeah.
I'm building the same model, so I'm 2 steps behind you. So I'm going to follow you along and just for everything you do, I'm going to just look at your pictures and follow along.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll build crappy models together, Kevin.
There you go. You know what? That could be a new logo. Building crappy models together.
Yeah.
I will say this was, I think, my 1-year build from 2 years ago, but the last 20 months were like one long year for me because of COVID. So yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Hay,
COVID.
Mr. Jeff.
Okay, well, I have not actually had time to do much in the way of building this month because I was finishing off the studio, but I did undertake to the gentleman who donated his stash to the Air Cadets and to our club for the sales and to the veterans build, had got about 80% of this Leonardo da Vinci flying machine completed, and it was missing one wing. And he wasn't able to finish it, so I volunteered to finish it, and this is what I wound up with. All I did was I think the port wing, the left wing, the right on to your right on this in that picture, and the rest of it was done by the gentleman who donated the kits, and he is with us tonight, and I have permission to identify him. It's Paul Beldam, who I met in September and who has joined us during COVID. And you guys all know the story, and many of you are the beneficiaries of his generosity. So I just wanted to point that out. He was very, very shy at the beginning there when you were talking to him, Stuart, but I'm not shy, so I don't mind talking.
All right. Well, Paul, on behalf of the club, we just wish to thank you for joining us tonight, and also for the donation, both to Operation Vet Build and to the Air Cadets. I know it's going to make a lot of people very, very happy. So thank you, and also as well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's very much my pleasure.
And Paul also donated this kit to his wife, so this was a Christmas present to her. So that all worked out very well. But it was quite a challenge, I must say. It's not a plastic, so it doesn't qualify for IPMS. It's all, wood and rope and netting and leather and everything else. But it's quite challenging. And Paul had done an excellent job. And my biggest fear was screwing it up. So it turned out to be okay. And it was quite out of my comfort zone. A lot of fun.
No, it looks absolutely awesome. And see, that should warm you up for the Felix Stone now.
And when it should. And when I was dropping this off at Paul's house the other day, I took advantage of the opportunity to take a bunch of pictures of his models because I felt that the members of the club would appreciate seeing the quality of the work that he has done. He has got a really interesting way of displaying them. And so these pictures here are all pictures of Paul's models. And Paul, would you prefer me to talk through them and then
Yes,
you can
please.
comment if you want? Okay. And you correct me when I've got it wrong, because it was literally, I was just trying to memorize what you were telling me. This is obviously the Canadian Lancaster. This is a model of the one that was for years on the pylon outside the front of the CNE in Toronto, and eventually taken down and shipped over to Downsview and taken apart and cleaned up. And I'm not sure where it is now, but I'm sure somebody
Victoria.
There it is. It's on Victoria now. But I just thought this was a fantastic kit. Paul, there are a couple of other pictures in here of it. But Paul did a full interior. It was missing a few propellers because of the various moves that it had to go through. But I thought that was a pretty nice job, and you guys might want to see it. This is the kit that drew Paul to my attention, or drew me to Paul's attention, because I was building this same thing. This is his version of the CL-52 Hasegawa B-47, and a beautiful job. Again, a beautiful job. That made the pod from a Hustler weapons pod, wasn't it, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Sort of scribed it and everything. It's just a really nice job and very heavily detailed. Beautiful.
Very nice. I love the finish on that one.
But you can see he's done a great job of sort of combining all of his models in stacked display cabinets. And I don't know if you've got the picture of that later, Stuart.
I
But
might,
it's worth
yep.
seeing.
Everything you sent me, I've got here. So you sent me and they're all amazing. So
Yeah. And this is obviously the C119 in Canadian markings. This Paul, I recall you were saying as a child you lived at, was it Downsview? I think it was you lived on.
Yes, Downsview.
Yeah, and these planes used to climb out over the end fence over the long runway, and you guys would, as kids, would all stand there and try to get killed, basically, something like that. Of course, an Albatross in the Canadian rescue markings, and then a number of other planes in the background. This is what I loved about Paul's collection. It's eclectic, which is very similar to my taste. You've got a Bell X1, a Corsair, a PBY, a Beaver, B-17, F-86, a Lysander, and an Albatross, all sort of in the same hangar, so to speak. This is incredible. This is the Missouri, the USS Missouri. I think it's 1/200 scale, Paul.
350th.
1/350th. And this, there are a number of pictures of this that are, I think, worth looking at. That little plane is about the size of a fingernail. It's amazing. And this was an aftermarket that I think you added, Paul, was it?
Correct.
Yeah. And then it's loaded with PE and extra guns. It's bristling with detail. The launch ramp, it's just, you can see the workmanship that's been put into this.
Yeah, well, for example, the 5-inch guns on the upper right-hand center.
Yeah.
I drilled out the 16-inch gun barrels. And so I figured if I could do that, I could do the 5-inch gun barrels also.
Of course
So
you could.
I did all of those. That's a 13,000th drill.
Oh my.
It does that.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes me crazy. This shot doesn't show it clearly enough, but that the bridge has been hollowed out, and then you've put in separate window mullions all the way along to to make it a more of a scale effect. And you can, again, you can pour over these pictures in the show notes or whatever, or in the meeting notes, because they're just a lot of really good detail work on this ship. And there you can see how he has displayed his kits. I liked the stacking capability, and as Paul said, it was also helpful for when they moved. You could just turn them upside down and nestle the kits inside each of them, and then just take them off that way. The blue tape indicates that some of the movers were not as gentle as they could have been. Again, there's another shot of the Lancaster. I'm going to have to
of course, an arrow behind it.
And of course, an arrow in the background. I'm going to have to, and a T-33 underneath.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to do this paint scheme because I just love it.
Yeah, you need to do that on that 1/32nd scale Lancaster, Jeff.
You know, you're killing me, Ron.
A quarter
You're
one.
killing
Yeah,
me.
there you go. There you go. There's
again another shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep going through these. Yeah,
It's
bow
gorgeous.
on. And this is the
Love
last
this
one. As I recall, this is the last one that you worked on, Paul. This is a 172
correct.
Sabre with a full interior. The pitot tube is broken. That's as again a result of moves and things, but you had removed before flight stickers all over it, and just really neat little plane. Beautiful paint job too.
Well, I've got a 48th Canadair Sabre in the stash, and that gives me some inspiration. That cockpit shot, that looks gorgeous.
Yeah. And this was a Bearcat that was flown by a friend of Paul and his wife from California, and he was also the friend is that gentleman there, Jed Goodspeed, who was also a pilot on Air Force One for John F. Kennedy. And yeah, so Paul did a tribute build, and this is it. It's been just a lot of neat stories, really neat stories.
Yeah,
so I thought,
beautiful, Paul.
I wanted to do
Thank
a
you.
bit of a tribute to Paul and let people see his work because, you know, being as generous as he was, I think it's the least we could do.
Yeah, stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Cool.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.
All righty. Yes, Dave, I got your email and your second email.
Yay, great. So this is the only shot I have right here of this, but the other day I got some color. I'm working on the Ming 124 scale Ford GT40. So I finally got some of the Ken Miles blue on there. That's the Zero Paints color. These are beautiful paints to spray. They're extremely hot, so I sprayed this over top of Mr. Surfacer White 1500. But there's about 5 coats on there. But this paint goes on like really, really thin, and it goes on beautiful. And as you can see, it gives you a little bit of a satin finish on there, so you have to gloss these. But that's where I'm at right now. The underside of the body you see in the back there, I've got the sides masked off now, so I can come in as a dark blue on the bottom and the interior of that. And those boxes you see on the back have to be silver. So I'm gonna mask off. I've actually got all the blue areas masked off now, so I can do the dark blue and the rest of the stuff. And then I'll come back and mask off everything else and just leave the light blue exposed, so I can do all the gloss work on this body. So this is a nice little kit. A few of the panel lines were very, very light, so I had to come into the door panel lines and a couple on the front of the hood there, and you know, deepen them quite a bit with the scribing tools to make it a little more realistic, so it'll take a nice wash in the end. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm not getting much bench time this month, busy at work and stuff, but it's coming along anyways, so it's you know, therapy.
That's good.
Dave, that paint, do you thin it, and if so, what with?
No, it's pre-thinned, and it's smells like it's an automotive paint. So this is like automotive paint that somebody's formulating, and then they're just selling it in little jars to us hobby guys that, you know, probably exorbitant price. But well, what would I do with a gallon of that paint, right? So I don't care. It sprays beautifully. It's pre-thinned, so you just dump some in your airbrush and away you go.
Wow. And is it lacquer based? Like you clean it with lacquer?
Yeah, lacquer thinner to clean it up. When I was doing my other, my 2017 Ford GT that I had, the red in there, didn't like to clean up with lacquer thinner very much. I ended up having to use a little bit of acetone actually and blast that through my airbrush to get all it out. So it's something, there's a lot of weird stuff, like I think there's toluene and xylene and stuff in this. So there's all kinds of wonderful aromas coming from this when you're spraying it if you're not wearing a respirator.
Wow. Okay.
Very cool.
But it's incredible paint. It's great. Like if you're gonna do automotive stuff and you want matched colors, this is the way to go.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, I actually remembered mine at the last minute. This is most of you read the backstory on this. This is the CF288, I believe, Interceptor. This is a what if. This is based off the Angel Interceptor kit from the movie Captain Scarlet. This was a Holy Grail kit. Airfix did this mold back in 1968. They've reboxed it multiple times, but hasn't done much. It's very rough. But it was fun. I made up a backstory about it's actually a special fusion engine. So it doesn't need much fuel. It's like a reactor called the Scarlet engine, built by the husband and wife team of Jerry and Sylvia Anderson. For those of you who don't know your British sci-fi, Captain Scarlet, as I said, is the name of the show. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson was the creative couple actually behind that, and a few other ones like Thunderbird, Space 1999, etc. This is one of the first kits I did where I decided not to do anything with the cockpit because it would have been a lot of work. The cockpit consisted of a seat and a pilot. So I didn't want to. It's part of my just nice and simple, come more or less out of the box series. And again, I got the decals from the IPMS Canada sheet, and it was just really fun. I used a metallic blue for the actual canopy, and just like I say, just a fun, simple build. And I really had fun with the backstory. Now, what's interesting is when I did my YouTube video, when I did the unboxing, that YouTube video has roughly 10 times the number of views in a month than any other video. So it's a popular subject, I guess. There wasn't that many unboxing videos. But yeah, just like I say, kind of rough, but good fun. And I really enjoyed the backstory. And I know a lot of people at the What If Facebook group liked it as well. So yeah, that's it for On the Tables. Does anyone else have anything they want to show?
I'm gonna ask Stuart if you thought that should be a replacement for our CF18.
Perhaps.
There we go.
You know, I always
I
say
can
I got
try
a
it.
few.
See if my video is working here.
Yep.
I have a new tool to show.
All right, Rob, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. This is
All right, you go ahead. You should be able to share your. There
I need
you
to
go.
fix the lighting for the camera. There we go. So
you can go ahead
this
and
is what
share
I'm
your
working
video.
on right now.
Okay.
It is Kamen Rider 4s. Something that the video quality is not going to show, however, is I've been using this metallic Gundam paint. So it's a preset shiny silver to replace all the actual silver parts on here. So it actually comes out a lot shinier than what it ends up being the bases. So I ended up getting out that. And I also completed my high grade new Gundam. However, I have it kind of, unfortunately, the backpack's a little heavy, so I had to take it apart off of it.
Oh, wow.
But here it is with all the fin funnels. They pop off, can transform. You can also pose them separately. They come with like little mini bases to do so. And again, while this one doesn't have as much of the silver on it, I also did the same kind of silver painting on this one as well. As you can kind of see with the vents on here. It actually comes out really nice compared to just the dull gray that it was. And then here is, oh, it's VFin came off. The actual high new Gundam itself. I didn't, and you can tell where I didn't do the silver painting versus where I did, because it's showing up much shinier on here.
Right. Yeah. No, we
Yeah.
can see that. Yeah, looks good. You'll have to send me some pictures.
It really almost looks like chrome.
Yeah.
It really does. And this was like the same dull gray. I will send in pictures when I can.
Very cool. All right.
Be great.
All right. Go ahead, Floppy.
So I got this, which is model cleaning brush, anti-static from Tamiya. And I've been watching a bunch of videos on YouTube. This guy, Mr. Lin is his name, and he does car models, and he's always doing these beautiful car models. But every time before he paints, he has some kind of a brush, and he'd be like swiping at the model right before he started painting it, and I dust it off, right? But he never identified the tool. So I was thinking to myself, he's using some kind of a generic off-the-shelf paintbrush or something, right? So I'm at Hobby and Toy Central on the weekend, and I'm looking at all the Tamiya tools I have hanging on the wall there, and I see this thing, and it strikes me that this is the same brush that Mr. Lin keeps using to clean off the models. He does all car models, right, before he paints them. So I'm a sucker for gimmicks and tools, right? So I thought I'm gonna get one of these brushes. So it's not cheap. It was $35 for this little brush, right? But I'll tell you, one of the surprise that I discovered is the end of the handle comes off, and there's a little tiny brush in here, right, for dusting. And then, so I tried it on my model, and it actually worked really good. So it has this cover that comes on here, and they say just to pull the cover off this way so the bristles stay, and you can see how soft the bristles are, right? And there's actually two different kind of bristles in there. You can see there's like these gray ones, and then there's these little fine ones on the tip, right? So it's a really great little brush. They recommend using this little cover to store it. So that's what I've been doing. But
Is it anti-static, Dave?
It's anti-static, yeah. So it's
That's cool.
There's two different kinds of fibers on the brush, so I'm not sure what's going on there exactly. There's got to be some kind of science going on, right? So anyways, I found it worked great, because when I'm doing these car bodies and stuff, you're always spraying and you see little specks of dust appearing and stuff like that, and it's super annoying. But when I took this brush and I just tried, in the videos, he's just like swiping this thing all over the thing, and then he starts painting, right? And I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I'll try it. So I did, and it works. I think it reduces the amount of static on the model itself and prevents those little particles of dust and fuzz floating in the air from going like whoop and sticking on your paint, right? So so I thought it was pretty cool, actually. So I'm happy I bought it now, because my first experiment's been very positive. So that's that.
And it's really a bargain, because it's two brushes for $35, so $17 each. That's a bargain.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very cool. Thanks, Dave. Anyone else?
I got one for you, Stuart.
All right, I'll put you on spotlight.
So as most of you know, I have a brother that builds models as well, and he sends me models every once in a while as gifts. Many of them are designed to torture you, and this would be one in particular that he made, which is the visible cow. I looked it up. The original model is from 1960. But it was reissued and it is just brutal. It is from 1960. I actually, though, having seen the inside of many, many critters, I actually did learn a few things. I thought they had this thing that would look like a kid that was supposed to be the kidney and it didn't look right. And it turns out it is, that the kidney is actually kind of funky looking in a cow. So I learned something. But other than that, I'm still trying to work out how to get these big blobby clear plastic things glued together. But I'm glad I did it because it's about a 3 foot by 2.5 foot box. And at least that's now out of my stash. And so I've got more room for real kits.
So are you
But-
planning a revenge kit for him?
I think you should send him the Visible
I am
Woman.
trying to think of something, but it's
Yeah.
pretty hard to get revenge on this one, I'll tell you.
Oh, Visible Woman. Send him the Visible Woman. That'll do
Yeah.
it.
And Tom, when you
Yeah,
said
these-
about,
I've always seen these kits around over the years, but they do look kind of interesting when put together, but it's probably not worth it.
I remember doing a couple of those visible ones when I was a kid. And
Yeah.
doing a really bad job of it.
Well, I actually
Yeah.
had fun because I know how to, I know the colors of most of the organs for real. And so I actually had a lot of fun with the airbrush trying to get, is this really, the right pink for the lung or, the right brown for the liver. So I had a lot of fun mixing and matching. But in the end, you can't see much of it. And so it was a waste of time, but it was kind of fun for a couple of nights.
Is
You're
the
right.
arterial and venous system in there as well, where you have to do all the arteries and veins?
There's only the one in there at all, and that's the dorsal aorta, and that's it.
Oh,
So
okay.
they basically skipped all that. Yeah.
Well, that's what the aftermarket set's for, right?
yeah, and Tom, when you
No.
said about the kidney that you were thinking it was the wrong shape, I thought you were going to say that I scratch built a new one.
No. The other thing is completely missing is all the skeletal musculature. So it's just basically the organs, the skeleton, and that's it.
Very cool.
But,
Very cool, gentlemen.
But it's like I used 2-part epoxy rather than glue for large parts of it.
Wow, that's huge too.
Makes
yeah.
sense. All right. Anyone else have anything exciting?
Yes, it's Paul.
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
And I'd just like to share this with people is that, and I showed this to Jeff, for weights in models, in order to keep the tail off the ground and such, I use powdered tungsten, and it's available commercially, usually used to weight golf clubs, but it's 1.6 times the density of lead.
Interesting.
And it's a very fine powder, and I mix it with white glue. So there it fits, it's like a paste, and it fits into any space you want to put it in. And it's so.
And it weighs a
0.6,
ton.
The model, yeah.
Yeah.
He's here all week, folks. Try the fish.
No, it really does. It weighs a ton.
Yeah.
Paul handed me the little container, and I was shocked. I mean, you know how you pick something
Yeah.
up, you expect it to be lighter, and your hand just drops. It's amazing.
Now here's the 64.
Where do you get the powder?
I found a source. I used to get it from Golfsmith, but it is I found an address online where they sell it. And I think Jeff has got a photo of that contact.
I probably do, and if not, we'll figure it out, and we can
I'll get it out to you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's a great tip. Well, anything like that is certainly not going to improve my golf game. So
What golf game?
exactly. Well, Mark Twain called it a good walk spoiled. And the other one I have is, why do they call it golf? Because all the other 4-letter words were taken.
Well, spell it backwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm just noticing here, one of my regular podcast listeners out of out of Australia. Poor Ray's back in the hospital. He's been having heart troubles and weird stuff too, but he just sent me this link. Apparently ICM's coming out with an all new tool Mistel. So 109 and in 48 scale and a Dornier.
Wow.
So for those of you who are into that.
I see Revel is coming out with a 148 SR71.
Yeah, it's been highly anticipated. It's just starting to make its way into the into the distribution channels right now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing. I think Andy's Hobby headquarters had an unboxing.
Yeah, I watched that
video.
last night. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Lots of cool stuff. But as we say on the podcast, nothing's coming out because the hobby's
The
dying.
hobby is dying. Jesus.
Yeah, so we
H.
always say.
What are you talking about? Bandai has announced the best kit for next year.
What have they announced?
The real grade God Gundam.
Real grade God. Let me see if that's in scale lanes.
Look, they just announced it. It's coming out. And if you want to understand why I'm so excited for this, they've also on Gundam.info's YouTube channel released the G Gundam series for free. So you can just watch it.
Oh yes,
Because-
I did hear that. Yes. Let me just do a quick Google search. I'll see if I can find a picture.
Yeah, and Airfix is coming out with a 148 Vampire.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch. There's just a whole bunch of good stuff coming out. Sorry, Bill, go ahead.
He's got a
Oh yeah.
72nd scale Mustang 3 coming out. If you're into 72nd.
Yeah, sorry, did you say Arma?
Arma Hobby.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous looking kit. We're mentioning it on the
I
podcast.
got
And again,
a bunch of AP ones that look nice, but I might have to spend my Christmas money on that.
well, it's a gorgeous looking kit. I'm really waiting for their, they said they're still going to do it. I hope they don't make me sad. I'm really looking forward to their 48 scale Hurricane because I think that's just going to be absolutely gorgeous. Here's the page for the.
Well, Arma doesn't break the bank though. Their kits aren't terribly expensive.
Oh no, they're not. But the
No.
quality is fantastic.
Oh,
14.
they're fin-
Roughdale carries them at a very reasonable price.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got one in my stash and it's on my short list for next year.
I
The
have
other
the Hurricane.
The other thing we probably should mention, Stuart, for those members who aren't on the Facebook page, and maybe who don't get Fine Scale Modeler, but Anthony Goodman, who was the secretary of this club for a long time, is a published author in Fine Scale Modeler in the January issue. His Aliens Armored Personnel Carrier is a featured article there.
Yeah, actually, let me find a.
And it's on display now at Broughdale Hobbies. For,
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Yeah. Let me
Cool.
find it. Let me find the picture here, if I can find it here.
Yeah, so it's kudos to Anthony, good for him.
Yeah, very good for him.
Now he made it a while ago. I remember seeing it at one of the actual live club meetings, which many of us probably don't remember anymore.
And he had it all lit up with LEDs too, right?
He had
Oh,
LED.
yeah.
He had it
It's all
at
lit up.
Heritage Con. Yep.
Yeah. It's a beautiful job. He did a beautiful job on it. And he hollowed out all the grates and everything, the grills, and just a beautiful job on it. So good for Fine Scale for picking up on it. I think probably partly it's because Aaron Skinner is a sci-fi fan too. So
Oh, he's
he
a
would
big
have-
sci-fi nerd. Yeah, we had him on the show once.
Yeah, he would have recognized that quality of that build.
And see, I absolutely hate Facebook because they won't show you past stuff very easily. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
They
All
won't
right,
show
let me
you
do-
past stuff unless they want you to see it.
Yeah, I know. Or you got to go through 28, loops. Okay, here we go. So there's his APC. And there's the article.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool as well. So yeah, all sorts of cool things coming out, and like I say, so yeah, does anything else have anything they want to talk about or mention or exciting things they're looking forward to?
There's a new magazine that's coming out. I think I've seen ads for it or stories about it called Phoenix something or other. It's out of Europe. Have you heard about that one, Stuart?
I think that's the name of the publisher.
Maybe that's the name of the
Yeah, and
publisher.
they have
but
two different magazines, if I recall. Let me see. I think
they
I
looked
may have it.
interesting.
Yeah, a lot of, this is the challenge now. You've got the US-based, North American-based magazines are really struggling, but you've got the European ones and the ones out of Japan are just kicking ass. I think they're being a bit more specific. I guess that's the best word. Bit more specialty stuff. Yeah, here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, they've got scale modeling and aviation modeling. Let me share my screen again. They're out of Europe. They're going to be available in both digital and in here, share. There you go. They'll be available in both digital and in paper mode. But they've been fairly active so far. They launched at Telford. But again, 2 more to the stable. So
Yeah, I haven't seen it, so I don't know anything about it. But
no,
it's,
not sure yet. Yeah, they'll be able to buy. Yeah, like they're going to be available in Europe at WH Smith, and they're going to do both in digital as well. So you'll be able to get it. So yeah,
interesting.
yeah, that'll be kind of cool as well. A lot of stuff coming out of there. Yeah.
Mr. Hobby just released three new super metallic color.
Oh, super metallic colors.
Yeah, so SM 207, 208, and 209. These are the 3 colors I think they just released recently.
Okay, they've also got one here about Aqueous. They've announced 5 Gundam Seed colors, an additional 5.
Oh, yeah, that's
coming in April or May. Right here. I love Aqueous. It's good stuff.
Gundam Seed.
Yeah. The other thing I'm looking forward to is they've got the Mr. Filler. They're coming out with an Aqueous version, so an acrylic based of the Mr. Surfacer. So I'm looking forward to trying that because I like the original, but it's just so stinky. So yeah, that was on their Facebook page. Let me go back here a second, see if there's anything else here.
I've been following on Starship Modeler a build of the ship from Interstellar by Randy. I forget his last name.
Randy Cooper.
Randy Cooper, yeah, and he's just been mounting it on a base that looks like a black hole, and he painted it this special black that's like 98% or 99% absorbs light. It's the black.
Oh, is that Vanta black or something?
Yeah, it's like it's one of the blackest
Yeah.
blacks you can get, and it actually absorbs so much light that it actually warms up. The paint gets warm.
What's the name of the ship?
Oh, it's the spaceship from Interstellar. I don't remember if
It's
it
on
had
the
a name.
Facebook page, Stuart.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's on their Facebook page. Okay, let me go back
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, the forum, sadly, I don't see much traffic these days.
Yeah, I
There's
know,
some.
nothing does.
I've visited
Nothing
a couple
does.
times a week because I'm still a moderator on there, believe it or not, but
I would love to. I'd love to be able to get more people using it. Let's see here.
I need to remember to use it.
Yeah.
Just look for Randy Cooper.
Yeah, hang on.
And it'll come up.
search the page, don't search the, okay. They got that little, you're using the wrong one, I think. Maybe. Oh, can you do that? I guess you can.
Sometimes it works.
There you go. That's
There you
the
go.
interior.
This is the one, right?
That's the
All right.
interior that he's doing.
Yeah,
Well, that's
Randy Cooper's a maniac when it comes to doing big models with lots of detail.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know, and it's incredible, and the interesting thing about the whole
Holy crap.
this ship was pure CGI in
Yeah.
the movie, so it's like the classic CGI. You're never sure if the interior actually matches the exterior for size, but he's just done an amazing job. Yeah, you compare that to the Mobius kit, which I have. It's just There's no comparison.
Look at the detail on the window frames.
Yeah. But see if you can find the picture of where
Yeah.
he's mounting it, because
just-
that's there it is.
Holy shit, okay.
Look at how
Holy
black
cow.
that is.
So,
It's a
so
black
this
hole.
black, I've read about this. This black is so black. If you paint the cube in that color and you rotate the cube, you can't tell when you're looking at the corners and not looking at the corners, because you lose
Yeah.
all like
Reference.
awareness of the
Yeah.
corners, because there's no light being reflected.
I know,
That's
it's
insane.
incredible.
I've seen
That's
people
insane.
paint a whole room with this.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Oh, geez.
And now also,
You
I've
don't
seen
want to be in that
someone,
room if you're drunk or stoned. I'll tell you that much, because it would totally mess you up.
I've
Even
seen
with the
someone
door
use
open,
this
you can't
paint.
see the back walls.
Yeah.
It just absorbs the light.
Yeah,
But
no,
I-
there
but
was a YouTuber who did an experiment with that to see how much light you could see in something painted with that. And it is ridiculously scary.
I've
Yeah.
seen someone using this paint on a real car and then spray some what's that called, like sparkling things on it, and it looks awesome. Like it's the one of the best paint job I've ever seen on a car. But
Like with
this-
Pearl,
Yeah.
Johnny,
what?
with Pearl over top of the flat black.
It's not pro. It's more like
Like stars.
It's like metallic flakes or something.
Yeah, it's flakes, I guess.
Oh, okay,
Let
yeah.
me find a video.
Like the old flake paint jobs like they used to do back in the 70s on vans and cars and motorcycles and such, with the real heavy flake.
Like,
Is
look
that
at
what it
that.
was like?
See, here's the example they have here, this video here. You can't even tell when it's.
Gee,
You can barely tell it's a 3D.
Yeah, yeah,
It's creepy.
yeah.
It's
Wow.
it's very cool. I just thought, I just saw that and I immediately thought, wow, that really is black.
Yeah. And to think they keep improving it, because the guy who came out with the original one tried to copyright it.
Yeah.
So that way he was the only one who had it, and then 3 other people came out with stuff that was even better than his.
Yeah. I love it.
Crazy, crazy. The only thing is, if you paint a car, yeah, you got to put something else on the paint or people are going to hit you. It'd be like a stealth
share screen?
automobile.
Can I share screen?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let me stop mine. There you go.
Yeah. Okay, it's a hyper shift. I guess it's more like a pro, but
You want to see a color
so-
shift, or specifically a height.
yeah. So this is before he sprayed the pro over the black. It's just the black right now, but after it's done,
That's just crazy. Hey, your internet sucks tonight, Johnny.
what?
Oh, it was paused for a second. I said your internet sucks.
Dipyourcar.com.
Dip your car.
Dipyourcar.com.
Oh, look at that.
Oh,
wow.
So I
Okay,
see,
yeah.
that's one of those, it's a color shift pearl coat over
Yes.
top of Vanta Black or Black 3.0.
Wow.
It looks
That is
like you're looking into space.
That's
Yeah.
completely
Crazy.
insane. That's completely insane.
crazy.
You know, I want to paint a model car like this now. This is not,
Yeah, I was just going to
I
throw
was
that
just
challenge to
thinking
you.
the same thing. I'm just trying to think which car I wanted to put it on.
I am.
It'd be kind of cool on an RS8.
You know, and you look at that, that's being taken in full, like partly sunny day.
That's incredible. You
that
have to
blows my
feel around
mind.
for the door handle.
Yeah.
And also this is the 3 color I talked about.
Okay.
Okay,
And
207, 208, and 209.
I'm not sure if you can notice, but actually each of these bones are spread into halves. Like the left side is with the black, gloss black as a base, and right side is the gloss black. So except for the bronze one, the other two are really similar. So
Yeah, look at the copper, the
you
difference in
almost
the
don't
copper.
need a gloss black for this paint.
Wow.
These kind
I
of,
think the middle one will make a very nice base for candy color.
Yeah,
the middle one kind of looked similar to the marker I showed earlier.
Mm,
This is I think it's called aluminum something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what I say constantly. One area of the hobby, like in this case, the Gundam folks are having products that like the car guys can use, and stuff like that. We can always
yeah.
learn from another area of the hobby. So that's fabulous.
Well, Bandai is one of the top model plastic
yeah.
manufacturers in the world. Like,
Yeah, they are.
yeah. So a bit of hobby news for you guys, anybody interested, is the Group 25 model car builders down in Toronto. They're actually having a hobby flea market on March 6th. It's just a flea market though. It's model car and slot car stuff. It's usually a pretty cool little show, I guess. They're down at the base of the 427 there at the Franklin Horner Community Center. So there's a flyer here on Facebook they put up.
Let's see, the 24-hour build is what, on February 20, what?
Whenever the 24 hours of Daytona is. I'm not
Yeah.
certain when that is. Yeah. Yeah. And then they also had on their website here, I noticed up at the top here, scrolling. I guess BuffCon's on again this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we mentioned that.
Did you? Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I missed
yeah.
that.
Can you do me a favor, Dave? Can you send me the Group 25 flyer?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
And I'll throw it up on the show thing. Because I got to start remembering to add these now to our website again. now that
So are
shows
you heading to that one, Dave, to look for that show?
I'll see what's going on that weekend. That's, crossing my fingers that we don't end up with another serious wave from this latest variant of the stupid thing. So
Yeah. I don't think
Excuse
there's
me,
any.
guys. I gotta leave.
All right, take
So
care, Dave.
Have a good
Merry
night, Dave.
Christmas.
yeah.
Yeah,
Have
Merry
a happy
Christmas,
New
Dave.
Year.
Take care.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Happy New
Dave.
Year.
Happy New Year. Next year
We'll
I'll
see
be
yous
better.
later.
Keep saying
Yeah.
that. Why do you keep lying to him?
I keep trying.
Can't take 'em
Optimistic.
anywhere. I know it's all we can be. It's all we can be, believe me. But
Yeah.
you know what? No, it's great to see everyone building some really cool stuff. So nothing wrong with that. All right, well, I think we'll formally end the formal portion. So I'm going to turn off the recording and we can just turn it into a build night. So again, on behalf of the executive, we wish you the best of the season and everyone be careful. And now I'm going to turn off the recording.